Hello, everyone. Welcome to the LinkedIn Live Q&A. Nice to see all of you. So if you're watching this live, please comment live below. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'd love to please subscribe and comment live below as well. So nice to see all of you here. So if you have any questions, so right now we are about episode 10 of the LinkedIn Live Q&A. So if you're watching this, we'd love to say hi to you. And if you have any marketing questions, please put them below as well. Would love to answer your questions while we are on this live, or put it in so I can answer them in the future as well. So we have about 5 questions today that I will go through, and I'll be answering those questions in today's session. Right. So let me get the angles right. Okay. So starting off with Rachel asks question, how to find people interested in therapy or coaching? Okay, so this is a good question. So a lot of coaches are on LinkedIn and some therapists as well, but a lot of coaches on LinkedIn. So my favorite way to do this is to identify if someone is interested. There are 2 ways, right? Number one, if you go and knock on doors, like you go and message everyone, hey, you're interested, which is not the most efficient way. What I normally do for coaches is I help them to set up webinars on LinkedIn events. Okay, so let's say if you are a breathing coach, and you set up a webinar on LinkedIn events, you can promote this webinar, whether through content and LinkedIn events as well, will start inviting your extended network into that webinar. So if someone attends, let's say, a breathing webinar, what happens is, number one, they are interested in that topic. So if you have a webinar about breathing and someone attends it, they are definitely interested to learn more about breathing, right? So how you can uncover, because a lot of coaching, it is not necessarily a need, right? A lot of coaching is more of something that they aspire to. It's not a urgent need to get coaching. So if you have a webinar and someone is interested to attend the webinar and to learn more from that webinar, that means they are interested in the topic. So when you host LinkedIn events that has webinars, number one, you collect emails. Number two, you also promote this as well. You collect emails, you get to nurture them, and then you get to actually educate them in the webinar, and also potentially promote your services or coaching programs at the webinar as well. So very simple way to do this, I would say, host webinars on LinkedIn. That's the best way to get someone interested, right? So if they click attend on a breathing workshop or a breathing webinar, that means they're interested in that topic. If not, there might be a mistake. So thank you as well, Rachel. So next question. So if you're watching this live, please comment there live below. Next question I have from Assume, who asks how to convert connections into customers. So this is a question I get a lot as well. A lot of people who look for my help, they have thousands of connections or maybe a few hundred connections on LinkedIn. So how to turn them into customers? So one way is to, just now I mentioned, organize webinars or events. So if your connections attend these events, then they are interested in your product or service. Secondly, I would say consistently putting out content, right? So putting out content to make sure that they know what you do and what are your services. So your network, your connections will see it as well. So basically, you can have thousands of connections. You can have connections and followers on LinkedIn. But if you do not have a lead generation process, whether it's a free course or a guide or a simple lead magnet like a webinar, you don't have things to activate them. Especially if you are selling something that is consultative or something that is of a high ticket sale, you need a lead magnet. So either you can funnel them to a free course or a webinar that will help them to learn more from you, which gives you an opportunity to turn them into customers. Just being there on LinkedIn does not get you customers. Just being there or just posting content does not get you customers. You need to post content and also promote a lead magnet. It can be in the form of a guide, a webinar, a free call, an assessment, as anything that is valuable to your leads. So you need to turn your connections into leads, and then from those leads, you turn them into sales. Right. Thank you for your question, Sandu. And if you're watching this live and you have any questions, we'd love for you to say hi or comment your questions below as well. Okay, so moving on. Next question is actually quite similar to Rachel's question. So Jerry, I believe from the UK, asked this question: what are coaches doing wrong? Very interesting. So I mentioned this in a live interview yesterday. Most coaches on LinkedIn, they stop at content. Being on LinkedIn and then creating content and then having clients come from that content, yes, that does happen, but that is not all. So looking at a marketing funnel, no matter the platform, whether it's Instagram or whether it's TikTok or YouTube, just creating content and waiting for inbound leads for people who consume your content and inquiring about your business is not the most efficient way of getting leads. So what a lot of coaches do, they just create content and expect people to come and ask about their coaching programs. Oh, I really like your content the other day and I want to know more about your coaching programs. That does happen, don't get me wrong, but it's unpredictable. When I work with clients, I would say you need to take that to the next level. Either have a lead magnet, have a guide, have an ebook, have a webinar to turn an audience. Same with Masum just now, turn an audience into leads and then into paying customers. So you need a funnel. You cannot just posting out content and hoping for the best. So thank you for your question, Jerry. And then next question I have from Lucy Banks. How do I get people to actually read my message? So there's a couple of things there, right? Number one, you need to find those who are active on LinkedIn. So I love LinkedIn, but there are also a good number of people. There are about, I think, 500 million users right now. But there are also a good number of people who are not active on the platform, right? So if you send someone a message and they are not active on the platform, then you're wasting your time, right? So secondly, that's one, find those who are active. If they are not active, then you really cannot reach them. Secondly is to really build rapport, right? Build rapport and ask for permission. If you're looking to sell something or share something, ask for permission. So what I find a lot with working with a lot of people on LinkedIn, they get ignored in their messages when they pitch something without permission. So always ask for permission when you try to share something. And secondly, if possible, when possible, build rapport. So you will definitely get a response if you have built enough rapport and they know you in real life, or they have had some value from you. So thank you as well, Lucia. Thank you as well, Lucy Banks. Next question from Lucia. What's a good call to action? So I assume this question is a good call to action for sales, right? So for me, I make it very simple. Make it a strong and clear call to action is what I say. So make it a strong and clear call to action. And what you can do is, let's say if you're having a piece of content, I always do this. I say comment profile below, and I'll send you the profile optimization guide, right? So have a good and strong call to action. Make it simple, and I would actually advise not to include calls in the call to action, because that's a big commitment to get onto a call with someone. But offer something that is a lead magnet. It can be a guide, it can be an assessment tool, it can be a quiz. So comment below for a guide, especially that will give them value, and make it simple. Comment a single word or message me a single word, and then you will get responses for that. So make it simple in summary. So thank you for your question, Lucia. So if you have any more questions, all of those you are watching, we'd love to answer your questions as well. Moving on to the last question for today. Last question is from Samantha Gruning. And what is the best way to generate leads? Actually, the most of the questions today point towards the same answer that I will share with you. Okay, so I was just having a conversation with someone today. There are basically two ways to get more sales and more leads. Only two ways, right? Two main ways. Number one is, a lot of people are doing this on LinkedIn and there are results getting from this, but be careful. Basically, it's hunting, right? Prospecting on LinkedIn, finding your target market based on their positions, geography, and based on their industry as well. Find them and connect with them, and start the sales conversation. Try to see if they're interested to work with you in the conversations, which is something I teach, and it requires a lot of practice to get results from it. Second way is through the attraction model. So I mentioned today, running webinars on LinkedIn, right? Doing webinars, events on LinkedIn. So that is why I love doing webinars and events on LinkedIn, because you actually attract. When someone attends a webinar or someone attends your workshop, number one, you're positioned as the expert, and number two, you collect data, you collect emails, and number three, you have an audience which you can nurture or sell to. So that is my favorite way to attract leads, is through content and also through webinars on LinkedIn events. So that is the best way for me. Of course, you can also try the hunting way, but that really is a numbers game. So thank you for your question, Samantha. And Joseph say, okay, a question just come in from Joseph. I'm based in Prague and have many local connections. We have a physical location available for business and entertainment, and are a working cafe. So how do we reach out locally through LinkedIn? I'm not sure if I get this question right. So, okay, Joseph, I need more clarity on this question. Perhaps I'll answer it next week. But basically, to reach out for, because I don't understand the question, are you looking for more people to come to your location? Or, yeah, so are you looking, what is the nature of the business? So we'd love to know that as well. All right, so yeah, so I'm not sure what you're referring to here. So based in Prague, have a physical available for business. So yeah, not sure about this question. So I will clarify with you and answer this next week. So thank you, Joseph, for your question, and thank you, Samantha, for your question as well. And thank you all for watching this live. We'd love to see you next week. So if you have any questions, please comment them below, and we'd love to answer them as well. All right, Joseph, I really need to clarify with you on this, and let's talk privately, and I'll answer your question next week. Thank you so much, and thank you, everyone. I'll see you next week.